Hi folks, Fuzz here, welcome to another Warhammer Chaosbane video. Today I'm going to be showing you the method I've been using to farm gear in the game once we've reached level 50. And this is actually quite a quick way of getting geared up. I'm already in Chaos 3, having only levelled to 50 about an hour and a half ago of in-game time. So I don't expect it to be long before I'm actually at Chaos 5, which is currently the highest difficulty, though more are going to be added in the future. And one of the go-to items I'm using for this particular method is the dashing daggers that you saw there. Doesn't really matter what the rest of your build is set up as long as I recommend just having some kind of healing ability, just in case potions aren't enough to keep you alive throughout the method that I'm going to be using. And that's basically going to be Boss Rush. And the reason for that is Boss Rush is a great means of collecting pretty good items, since as you go up in the difficulties, you start to get multiple heroic items drop every time you defeat a boss. Now don't worry if, unlike me, you can't do this on Chaos 3, I couldn't immediately either. Obviously, as you start to get gear, you work your way up the difficulties, and then more gear drops so that you get less upgrades overall, because you've already started to get good gear, but you're getting more chances at upgrades, if that makes sense. So, yeah, like I say, I'm currently on Chaos 3, and the boss I've chosen to do is the Blood boss, which is the Act 2 boss. And the reason for that is that I just find it the easiest of the 4 bosses. It really doesn't matter which boss you choose. It might have something to do with the fact that the item that I'm using, these dashing daggers, I think it's called, that has these permanent spinning blades around the character, is just a great synergy with this boss to defeat this boss, because all you need to do is move around them, whereas some of the other bosses you can't really get quite close enough, such as the Act 2 boss and the Act 4 boss, in order to actually do a whole lot of damage with these things. But the Act 2 boss works perfectly, but if you're using different items with different synergies for your character, then one of the other bosses might do the job for you. But because it works well for me, I'm just going to recommend that you try and find these dashing daggers as soon as possible. And basically, they are quite a common drop. I think I've found about 3 or 4 in the last hour and a half of in-game time at level 50 here. So, you know, they're not uncommon by any stretch of the imagination. And once you've equipped them, literally all you need to do is run around, let them do the damage for you, and you just concentrate on avoiding attacks and healing to stay alive. So for this particular boss, the strategy is basically avoid damage, and as far as I can tell, pretty much all the damage on this boss fight is avoidable. Okay, so if you die, it is usually something that you did wrong. You didn't avoid an attack or whatever the case may be. So it does get a little bit confusing when the ads come into play, but again, as long as you stay at range from those, they're all quite slow moving. You can take them out from distance and they'll be able to not do much damage to you then. Now, the way this boss fight works is, first of all, in the first stage of the fight, as you saw, we had these red lines of blood extending out from the centre of the arena to the outside. And those outside extensions you need to destroy, because the boss will keep going immune while they're still around. So make sure you take care of those, as you saw I did here, as quickly as possible in the first phase, so that then the boss cannot go into immunity anymore. And the other thing to note is that when he leaps into the air here, the only safe place I know of to avoid this huge blood AoE is that particular platform at the start of the arena where the door is. So make sure when he leaps into the air, you race off to that bit and wait until that blood AoE has landed before you come back into the arena to fight the boss. Now, this is an interesting fight because, in my opinion, it's the only boss fight that actually gets easier as each stage progresses into the next. And the reason for that is, as you start progressing into stage 2, he begins to use this ability where he tries to slam down onto your character. But you actually get quite a substantial warning for this with this red symbol that appears underneath. So once that red symbol appears underneath your character, you'll know to move out of the way, because once it starts flashing, you've got about 2 seconds before he slams down, and it will one-shot you if you don't move out from it. So pretty much all you need to do is avoid this red symbol when it flashes, just like that. And when he goes ahead and leaps into the air, make sure you avoid the whole arena by heading over to the front door. The other thing to note as well is that occasionally he'll use this ability which sucks you in towards himself. You need to roll away very quickly because he's going to use a nasty cleave attack. But once he's done that, he's always going to leap into the air. that will be his very next attack where you need to go and avoid the big AoE. So once he's done his cleave, so he sucks you in, you move out of the way, he does his cleave. What you need to do then, because this is a good opportunity for free and easy damage, is go back to the boss immediately after that cleave and just unleash everything you can, even in melee range, it doesn't matter. He's not going to do anything to you. The very next thing he's going to do after a few seconds is leap into the air every single time. And there you have it. Look at that. We've got 4 heroic items drop just from one boss fight. So they are given out quite liberally here. Another dashing daggers. Look at that. So as I say, they are quite a common item. You do get them quite regularly. I think I got my first one on hard difficulty. So it doesn't matter if you're not playing on chaos. But that's pretty much it, guys. No upgrades, unfortunately, this time for me. But I'll just keep repeating these bosses. And with all these heroic items, I'll eventually complete the heroic sets. Perhaps even improve my weapons. And will no doubt be farming Chaos 5 sooner rather than later. So, yeah. Definitely for boosting up your character's gear, you want to do boss rushes. If you want to get fragments, then relic hunts are the way to go for that. But you can also get heroic items on relic hunts as well. But I hope this video has been helpful to you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And also, which will be your go-to boss for farming items. I'd be interested in knowing that as well. Like I say, I've tried the others, but for me, Act 2 boss is definitely the easiest of the 4. Especially now I've started to get used to all his attacks and whatnot. But thanks for stopping by today, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.